Quick question though. Have you made significant money on any of these stocks? Comment below. Folks, did you know 7 companies are in phase 3 testing for a vaccine? Which one is the best? Which one should you buy? Let's use the power of the VectorVest software to answer these questions. Coronavirus is my next story, and this is a good story. There are 7 coronavirus vaccine candidates being tested in the U.S. Here's where they stand. 7 of them that are in phase 3, where they're actually being used on human beings. At least 3 of these are still investigational vaccines, have moved to phase 3. So I've got a few of the stocks here in the stories. One of them happens to be, hold on, where is it? There it is, AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca, which is now up about 1.24% in partnership with University of Oxford. Now, you know something? That University of Oxford is high on the list on being one of the companies that's going to come out with a vaccine. I like that they are attached to a U.S. company, AstraZeneca, in a good way. To play the whole industry is by an index, IBL. I got to check that out. There's one ETF that you can play for the whole industry. Actually, there's a couple because you can also look at, not JNJ, what am I looking for? LABU, which looks at all the pharmaceuticals as well. So there's a couple of ways to either play an individual stock or play the whole gambit in one. Another one is BNTX and Pfizer. All right, those are 2 other ones that are in there. The companies published preliminary data on July 1st as a preprint. 24 participants in the study who received 2 doses of a lower dose vaccine developed neutralizing antibodies. That's huge right there. It's the antibodies that's going to help the vaccine, creating those antibodies. All right, phase 2, phase 3, man, they're moving along. MRNA, my stock of choice, which is down today. For them, phase 3, the study is expected to complete enrollment of 30,000 people in sometime in September. Do you September? When we fell in love, we were young and innocent then. Yeah, that wasn't good. All right. Anyway, they got a whole bunch of money, funding from BRDA. mRNA's got $955 million. Who else? That's mRNA. Let's go back up. Phase 3. This is the AstraZeneca one. 300 million doses. They got money. Who's giving them money? Didn't say who's giving them money. That was the AstraZeneca. Let's see. AstraZeneca's been around a while. Up to 1.2 billion. Man, that's a lot. Let's go down to the last one. mRNA. I got INO is in here as well, which is down big time today. Woo! Good Gordon Gin, that's down a lot. Good googly muggly. Good googly muggly. That's a lot of down. But Johnson & Johnson is in this list. Hold on. The U.S. government on INO, it received $71 million from the Department of Defense for INO. But right now, something happened. I got to check out and see what happened with that. So there's 7 stocks. Let's go into the software. Oh, what did I do? I messed it up. There we go. Let's go into the software. Let's go take a look at those stocks. Johnson & Johnson, Novavax, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, mRNA, INO, BNTX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's all 7 of them. You know, instead of analyzing them all, because it'll take me a lot of time to analyze each one of them, look at them. The best one out of all of them from a fundamental standpoint happens to be Johnson & Johnson, where relative value is at 1.16, relative safety is at 1.29. So Johnson & Johnson is the only one that's fundamentally sound on both relative value and relative safety. If we look at the ones that are going up the most, that's Pfizer, and that's barely at or above the value of 1. Let's do it a different way. Let's go right-click. Let's view the stock graphs. Let's see which ones, and put it on a 3-month graph. Man, Johnson & Johnson fundamentally is the most sound one, but look at the move. It was going up. Again, I'm using a 3 and 8 exponential moving average. Big down day. I'm sure that was news driven. But look at the fall. Even with today's activity, it does have a level of support sitting at about 145.65, and it's trading at 146.38. The beautiful thing about using our graphing package is that we can set up automatically your levels of support and resistance. I use moving averages, whether a stock is trending or not trending, to give me a feel of what's going on. RT, the indicator that tells me if the stock is in an uptrend or not. RT is below 1 and falling. Volume is falling. So Johnson & Johnson may be the most fundamentally sound, but I'm not thinking about it. Now, Novavax, on the other hand, look at that move most recently where the 3 and the 8 just crossed above the value of 1. All right, the 3 just crossed above the 8. Stock's moving up. I like that. RT is still below the value of 1. Stock's still considered to be in a downtrend. But look at this. Volume is moving up as the stock's price is moving up. There's still some trading day left. Down day, if I'm in the stock, leave it alone. One day down doesn't make a trend. But I'm looking at the 3 and the 8. They look good. I really would like to have a stock with the 3 and the 8 above 1 and RT above 1 to give me more of a feel of an upward moving stock. This one is That's the best way I'm going to say. It's just looking at Pfizer. So now all of these stocks are making the news that they're out there for clinical, trial phase 3. But I'm looking at the analysis by way of a graph in the VectorVest software to give me a better feel. So news can give you all the information you think you want to have. This is the information that you need to have to make the right decision. Pfizer did bounce off a level of support that was sitting at 35.22. The 3 and the 8 crossed on 9.14. The stock is moving sideways. The 3 hasn't crossed below the 8. RT is still barely above the value of 1. If you're in it, leave it alone. Wait for the 3 and the 8 to cross down to the downside on an end-of-day basis. As the stock is moving sideways, volume is falling off. There's nothing abnormal about that. That makes sense that that volume would fall as the stock is moving sideways. What else? Oh, AstraZeneca bounced off a level of support sitting at 52.37. The 3 and the 8 crossed 9.15. The stock's price is moving up. You know what I like about this? Volume is pretty steady. I like the move of relative timing, even though it's not above 1. Price moves RT. Would love to see RT get above 1, but the stock is moving in a direction that I want it to move. Does have a level of resistance sitting at 57.68 as the stock is trading at 55.65. But overall in a sideways move, but I like the bounce off of that level of support. Looking at MRNA, my stock of choice, hard to be in right now, but it did bounce off support. Look at that rebound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row up. The 3 did cross above the 8. Volume is starting to pick up a little bit. RT is still not above the value of 1. Down day to day. If you own it, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let your stops manage the trade. But on an end-of-day basis, the 3 is still above the 8. I'm looking at INO. Man, bounced off support nicely. 1, 2, 3 nice up days. I've got a candlestick pattern right here known as a bearish harami. Harami in what is it? Japanese means pregnant lady. So there's the lady's body. There's the baby. So that's where we get that candlestick pattern known as a bearish harami. If you're in it, though, leave it alone. The 3 and the 8 are still have you in place. Look at the bump up in volume. I like that. Stocks priced the 3 crossed above the 8, rising volume. Now today is a down day. Let it be. Just like the Beatles. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Let the market come to me. Let it be. Thank you. Thank you. That was a good rendition of Let It Be. And the last stock, BNTX. Everybody left. They left? They didn't leave. Oh, man, y'all didn't leave. Don't leave. I like the candlestick pattern here known as a hammer. All right, look at that run up. 3 crossed above the 8. The stock's RT is still below the value of 1. Now, there's a common denominator in all of these stocks, even though they've made the news and they're out for trials. All of the RTs, with the exception of Johnson & Johnson, all of the RTs with the exception of Pfizer are below 1. None of these stocks are really in an uptrend. So what you're looking for, even though they're making the news to make a better informed decision, make sure you're buying them on an up day as the stock's price is running. These stocks have the potential to make you a lot of money in a short amount of time because they're hot and heavy in the news. But don't be afraid to take your profits quick on them as well. All right. Now, let me ask, does anybody have any questions in regards to that? And number two, type in the room, how many of you have made money off of some of these coronavirus stocks in your portfolios? All right, so two questions. Does anybody have any question about the story? And number two, comment in the room, how many of you have made money off of these coronavirus stocks? All right, mRNA is gold. I like mRNA. Again, it's been a tough stock to have to sit and watch. Most of these stocks are also facing resistance at the 50-day simple moving average. Again, I didn't even put the moving averages on from that level of resistance. I used the resistance that VectorVest drew for me. I used the resistance that VectorVest drew for me. Mark says he made a lot of money on VXRT several times. Sorrento Therapeutics has made me money. That's another one, SRNE. All right, and some people have said nope. And you know something? For those of you who said no, this is more trading money than longer-term investing money. Keep that in mind. These will be shorter-term trades, especially because these relative timings are below 1. All right, I don't play drugs, says Vince. Well, that's good. Right, Joey? Mm-hmm. All right, that's good. All right, so Codex is another one that's made money. Glenn, out of your 7, what would you analyze the best? I looked at all of those graphs. And again, this is why I reiterate that these are more trades. There's not one that I really, well, there is. I do like Novavax, nice moving up coming from a bottom. I'd really like the RT to go above 1. So Novavax was 1. I also like AstraZeneca coming off a low. I'd like to see RT go above 1. MRNA is the 3rd one. And INO is another one. That makes it a 4th one, not that one. So there's 4. Out of the 7, there's 4 that I would look at. There was 4 that I would look at. And SRNE is not in my list today, a shock, and that's fine. I will take a look at that when we go through stocks. There's a huge push from Trump's for the vaccine. Do not take one for at least a year or more. Do not be a guinea pig. You know something? I will leave that up to the individuals. And you know something? This is why the FDA is around, to protect ourselves from drugs. We have Operation Warp Speed, which is pushing these companies to get a vaccine. It is what it is. Now, just like we have a flu shot and we got a pneumonia shot. What's that called? Pneumonia? Yeah, we got a pneumonia shot. All right? Those were developed over years. Guess what? The vaccine for coronavirus will be developed over years, but they're looking at something to stem the tide for coronavirus now. All right, so there we go.
Yeah.